Good morning, everyone. Today we'll discuss on evolution of psychology, means how it was originated and how gradually it became complex. Earlier, how it was viewed and gradually how those views changed, and in present times how it is viewed. I would like to add here that earlier psychology name didn't exist. We only knew the name philosophy and treated it as psychology. Means we knew only one word, that is philosophy, as a subject that could explain human behavior. Earlier, philosophy was treated in lieu of psychology, but it was totally non scientific. It was based on the viewpoint of people, or you can say on the basis of common sense, which we have discussed earlier. The main objective of explanation of human behavior was earlier suggested by philosophy, but as it was without any scientific principles, that's why philosophy turned into psychology. So, in this topic, you have to explain first that its roots are in ancient philosophy. The psychology which we are studying is Western or modern psychology. So, the history of which we are going to discuss is of modern psychology. So, let's discuss this. As you know, first lab of psychology was established in 1879 in Germany by William Wundt. Why he established this lab? Or you can say what was the objective of establishing the lab? The main purpose was to know the conscious experience of mind. The method he used was to know the experiences of people. He used to ask the experiences of people to know the particular behavior. Let's discuss it with example. Say, if I want to know that why you behave in a particular manner in any situation, or how you are feeling in that particular situation, then I will ask you that why you behave differently in different situation and what was your experience. Generally, we ask to one another that why you feel sad, or why you feel angry, or why you are happy. Then in general, we people also try this technique to ask people why you behave differently in different situations. This technique is known as introspection. Introspection means we ask the subject. Subject means the person on whom we are studying, that you explain yourself about your experiences. The main purpose of William Wundt was to study the structure of mind. Earlier, it was thought that there are some building blocks in mind, and our experiences are fixed in these blocks. So, when we study those structures in mind, then we can easily know about behavior. That's what Wundt used to do. He used to ask people to know behavior. So the psychologists who used to study mind and its structures through introspection are known as structuralists. Why structuralists? Because their main aim was to study the structure of mind. After that, in 1890, one more lab was established in Cambridge, in America, by William James. He was totally against the thought of structuralism. He suggested that it is more important to study how mind works rather than its structure, how it functions, how behavior occurs. He used to say that what mind does and how behavior functions. So, where he is focusing, he is not focusing on its structure, he is focusing on its functions, how mind functions. So, those psychologists who were in favor of William James were called as functionalists. There was another psychologist naming John Dewey. He was also in favor of functionalism. He suggested that we and our mind adapt according to our surrounding environment. So, this approach of John Dewey was influenced by functionalist approach. So, first was structuralists, then were functionalists. Now, in 1900, very influential scientists, or you can say psychologists, came into existence, naming Sigmund Freud. This name is very important for you as a psychology student. Without Sigmund Freud, you even cannot think of psychology. In class 12 also, you will study a lot about Sigmund Freud. He introduced psychoanalysis. This technique is used to treat various psychological disorders. In psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud proposed that human beings are motivated by conscious desire for gratification of pleasure or desire. Means human beings are motivated by unconscious desire to fulfill their pleasure or desire. Means human beings are motivated when they want to fulfill their desires. He suggested this in terms of sexual pleasure, which was criticized later on. This also we'll discuss later on. After that, in 1905, some intelligence tests were developed by Binet and Simon. These are also very important names in psychology. This also you will study in detail in 12th. about which psychological test was developed by whom. Okay, now in 1910, John Watson and D.F. Skinner introduced behaviorism. According to them, psychology is the study of behavior or responses to stimuli. Means psychology is a study of behavior. We have discussed it earlier, and behavior is responses. Responses of what? Responses of stimuli. What is stimuli? Stimuli is whatever you see. A stimuli causes an action or response. Here, stimuli can be conditioned also. Means we can control stimuli according to our requirement. For example, Pavlov's classical conditioning, in which he expressed that subject behaves according to conditions. That's how we get conditioned response. Here, stimuli word is very important. This also we'll discuss later on. Now, coming to India. In 1916, first psychology department was created in Calcutta University. This was a great move in India because from here only psychology was introduced in India. Then in 1920, one very important psychologist came into existence, naming Gestalt. He proposed his own theory, which is called as Gestalt psychology, in which he said that human beings experience more than they see. Means experience is holistic. Holistic means as a whole, means encompassing the whole of a thing, not just a part. We take everything along, means sometimes we are visualizing the thing, but we even don't know that what we are experiencing at the same time is some much more than visualization. He explained this with the help of a movie. In a movie, we see the photographs, videos, but people are not just watching movies, they are experiencing the new things, new learning. Here, holistic word is very important whenever we talk about Gestalt. Now, afterwards in 1951, another approach came known as humanistic approach by Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow. These two names are also very important. In this approach, they suggested that behavior is dependent upon environmental conditions. What are environmental conditions of a person? And people automatically adapt these conditions and they get motivated to achieve their next goals in life. According to this approach, human beings themselves evolve their behavior according to their surroundings. After that, in 1953, Skinner published a book named as Science and Human Behavior, which was based on behaviorism. Then in 1954, Maslow, who published a book named as Motivation and Personality. Then again in 1954, in India, Bureau of Psychology was established at Allahabad. Then in 1955, the institute was established named as NIMHANS in Bangalore, National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences. This you should know as a psychology student. Later on, structuralism and Gestalt theory was combined and a new theory was formed named as cognitive perspective. What is cognitive perspective? It means how we know about the world. Means word here is our own surrounding world. Cognition means process of knowing through our mental level. It includes thinking, understanding, perceiving, memorizing, problem solving, and decision making. This focuses on cognition. Here, psychologists say that brain processes like computer. How? Because computer works in a process that it receives information, then process this information, then it transforms the information, stores it, and retrieves it. Mind also works in the same manner. Mind also keeps constructing and exploring physical and social world, because here word constructing is used. That's why this theory is known as constructivism, which was proposed by Piaget and Vygotsky. Then they also proposed different theories. According to Piaget, children actively construct their mind. And according to Vygotsky, children need to interact to adults to construct their minds. Means children also need the help of adults for constructing their mind. So these are two different theories which we'll discuss later on. Okay, let's recapitulate the topic. First of all, structuralists came who suggested that mind has building blocks where data is stored, as discussed by William Wundt. Then functionalists came. They told that how mind works or how it functions, as suggested by John Dewey and William James. Then behaviorists came. According to them, behavior is response of stimuli, which we can condition, okay, which was proved by Pavlov. Then humanistic theory was proposed by Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow. According to this theory, we people adapt behavior according to environment to achieve our next goal. Then in last, constructivism theory came, according to which cognition perspective was highlighted, that mind works under various processes and mind automatically constructs behavior according to construction of various processes, in which Piaget and Vygotsky are important psychologists. So I hope you understood the topic. If any doubt, then you can contact me. See you again. Bye.